So we kind of have two projects going on simultaneously. One of them we're focusing on prairie land area, and so we are looking at about European settlement area. So we start off with Iowa's completely covered in prairies, and now we have less than 1% left. And so we're looking at how the area of natural prairie is changing to like cornfields and places where people are living. And then we have the small area restored land, and we're trying to see if we're changing different variables that come into play with there, how we can actually help with the restored land and make sure that we have prairie left after a certain while.
So the project we looked at was, there are some research plots that are put in by the Nature Conservancy with differing diversity of plants. And so we looked at insects, so we took these lovely, there's a bunch of dead critters in there, but pretty interesting stuff. So we looked at insect use, ground-dwelling invertebrates, and how those might be affected by plant use. So in this case, the collaboration was a very applied project of biology where we're actually collecting insects or invertebrates, spiders and ants and things like that, and using statistical techniques. And that's another very common biomath collaboration, is statistical techniques to sort of separate the noise from what the true data are showing. So that was the second major focus of what happened this summer.
We're basically going out to this field, and we are collecting bug samples and trying to determine richness and diversity of plant species and insect species on the prairie.
The project was funded from a grant, and so I feel like that's an exciting thing as well about this. In both math and now biology departments, there's growing research over the summers, and so I feel like this kind of uses those as a first step to kind of elevate the research experience that students can have. This was funded through the MAA and our EUP, and so that's a national program.
Clint gave us readings, like a couple big packets about background on prairie, but other than that, I didn't know anything about it, just from like Little House on the Prairie and something like that. But yeah, after this whole thing, you really learn the importance of that type of ecosystem.
I think for me, I really like the teamwork aspect. The problem with a lot of math classes is it's problems that people have done a billion times and you can do on your own. And so this will help when you actually get a career and you have to work with other people, real life type thing. And so working with others, taking ideas and spinning those off of each other, and actually learning how other people's minds work, which is completely different than ours.
We're just working together as a team, and that's one thing I've always been, is just a team player. So that was one thing that I wanted to do. You know, one of the reasons that I chose this summer is because it was a team, and I noticed that some of the other projects are just single people all by themselves, and that's just not me. And I know that in today's work field, force, or whatever you want to call it, today's work, everything is pretty much as a team.
I've learned how to use programs like R that you can compile data into and then essentially produce a graph. Same with Dakota, another program, and like I can use that for the research I'm doing for my other internship.
Mostly I'm doing this project because it's a lot of research experience, and in psychology in graduate school, hopefully, which I'll be attending, there is a lot of research. So having any research experience is really going to help me.
So before this, I hadn't really planned on going to grad school, but after doing all the research, you learn how to do it, and it interests you.
It's not about developing skills just to go on to restore prairies. They'll need these skills for whatever it is that they decide to do. And I guess I just want them to kind of get the confidence to think about a real problem that isn't prescribed from a textbook, and to realize that they can contribute to it individually, and also how to work with people to get to an important answer to a question.